Okay, so today we have a very important topic to discuss, and that is the next Bitcoin halving. And in particularly, we already know what happens before that and after that. We already know typically after a Bitcoin halving, we typically have a pump. But what we have coming up right now is going to be a drop. And yes, a lot of people are fooled by this, but that's why I'm saying attention Bitcoin holders and anybody holding crypto. You do not want to be fooled by what happens next. But anyways, we're going to talk about that today. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you want me to go over next. And also, if you want automated trading indicators, definitely check out the link in the description for Chart Prime. And if you want to join our exclusive trading group, you can go ahead and look at the Patreon in the description. But let's get started with this because we have a lot going on right now with Bitcoin. And I know you've seen the recent pump that we just now had 3.7% in the last 24 hours. Now, this is kind of crazy because if you look at that jump here inside Bitcoin, it might look like a big jump and it might look like something big's about to happen. Like we're about to have like a huge takeoff, right? We're about to just have a huge bull market out of nowhere, right? That's what people are thinking. But no, that's not quite how it is. If you actually look at this, it's actually a small little glitch in the system. It's a small little pump that we just now had. And we're actually going up towards our next resistance. That resistance brings us around 28.7K, about right before it goes into the 29K territory. But look at how Bitcoin's been really moving. Like we haven't been able to get above this resistance over here, and that's generally around 31K. We can't get above it. You know, we've been trying to do it since the beginning of the year, but we couldn't do that, and we got rejected twice. So typically the third time's a charm, you know. And I think the third time here we're gonna get rejected again. So you can see we've been rejected here repeatedly, and now it looks like we're about to have that same rise, and it looks like it's going to continue to pump here, and we can possibly get all the way up here to 31K. But the real question is, will it actually, pump? If you look at what happened before, it didn't pump. It didn't even get anywhere close to pumping. So what it looks like to me here is we're probably going to have the same thing happen again where we get rejected. And this rejection is going to be what brings us down to 20K. Now, I'll explain the 20K scenario to you, but I just wanted to kind of mention that, right? Now, before we go on to that 20K scenario, you also got to think about what's going on, like with the geopolitics all around the world. Like we have a war going on, right? We have the US about to have a shutdown, a close for its government in November, right? That's what they're talking about, the government shutdown in November. We have other things going on. We have Russia, Ukraine. We have a potential another pandemic. And like we just have so much going on, heavy inflation all across the globe. We have so much going on to the point where there's absolutely no reason we should have like major pumps right now, right? But what I foresee is this here for Bitcoin, and this is the 20K scenario I was talking about here. I predict, and like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. This is pure entertainment, okay? But like I was saying before, I predict that we could possibly go back up here to 31K, right? As we keep having these rallies, right? But going into November, typically November and December is down for Bitcoin. It's typically how it is. If you look at last November, December, it was down here for Bitcoin. But then going into the New Year's, we had our pump. For January, we had our pump for February. Then we had some more pumps for March and a little bit for April, right? But we had our pumps going into the New Year's. Like when it was the New Year, we had our pump. But leading up to it, November, December, it was down. So the same thing might happen again. November, December, we might be down. We might be up now, but let's say by November, we're already at 31K. Well, doesn't it just look convenient that we're pumping right before our downtime? We're pumping right before November. And then once November hits, we get rejected. And we go down for November and December. And that brings us down to about 25K support here. We can't hold up 25K support. Then our 20K scenario will then play itself out. And we'll end up going down to 20K. And that 20K, we're probably going to end up reaching it sometime late December or right before we have our New Year's going into January. We should reach 20K sometime around there. And then we should have some nice pumps going into January. Now, what if we don't have a pump going into January? Well, if we don't pump going into the new year, then what's more likely going to happen is we're going to end up dropping lower and we're probably going to end up going to 15K. Now, like I said, anyone can say what they want, but I don't know, just running the numbers like how I did before. This is just what makes sense, right? It just makes sense this way. It looks like we are going to probably end up going down to about 15K. if we do not pump going into January. Now, look, none of this even matters because if you look over here, the Bitcoin halving starts around April 24th, 2024, right? Somewhere, sometime in April, mid to late April of 2024, which is next year. So, this is essentially going to be our bull market. And the reason why this is so important is because all you really need to know is buying any time before that, you're good. Because typically a year after the halving is when you really have those pumps are coming in. Like, yeah, going into the halving, we should have some pumps, but then a year after that, you should see the full force of those pumps and you'll see what all-time high it brings us to. So give it about a year after the halving and you're gonna be looking good. So even if you get in now, you should still be good technically. Even if it goes down to 20K, but you got in at 27K, you should still be good. Anywhere below 30K is looking good, right? Anywhere below 30K. Now, let's say you want to, just wait a little bit. Like that's what I'm doing personally. I know you probably shouldn't wait till last minute, but me personally, I want to wait till I see Bitcoin at like 20K before I really start hammering in on it. Right now we're at 27K. It's possible that we don't go back down though. But I'm saying I predict that our future for Bitcoin is going to look like what I just now mentioned. Now I know a lot of people will probably be like, no, 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 that's not possible. Bitcoin's not going to do that. It's probably going to pump. It's probably going to have a huge rise from 30K to 40K before the halving, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that. And a lot of analysts don't believe that either. What I see here and what a lot of other people see here is Bitcoin pulling back down to 20K or 20 or 15K. So what we're going to end up seeing here, we're not going to be able to get past 31K. We'll probably end up pulling back to 25K and possibly back down to 20K. And if we can't hold that, possibly 15, but I'm saying 20K. So if we do that, I mean, there's good buying opportunities, but don't be fooled. We're not about to have this huge bull market right now. We have to wait until the Bitcoin halving. It's the only thing that makes sense here. Like we just have to wait till that halving. So wait for it a little bit, let it pull back, and then watch what happens. Right? It's gonna work like clockwork. It's gonna work like butter. But anyways, this is pretty much all I got for you all today. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think the Bitcoin halving is going to be the inflection point here for Bitcoin in the crypto market where it starts to become bullish? Or do you think right now is the time for Bitcoin to become bullish? Because personally, I think we're going to have a bullish run. Not bullish. We're going to go up to like 31K, right? And then we're probably going to pull back down to like 20K. And then that's when we go all the way up for the Bitcoin halving. So that's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. And if you want these automated trading indicators here with the momentum wave bands here on TradingView, then definitely check out the link inside of the description for Chart Prime. If you want to be a part of our exclusive trading group, Crypto Millionaires, definitely check out the link inside of the description. And as always, I'll be back with another video.